running things with these wonderful people under them that are basically enforcing this. How do you deal with that paradox? Tim Kennedy will be right back. Tim Kennedy's my guest for a few more minutes, and then we're going to hand the baton to David Knight. But he's planning some really exciting stuff, actually going out, reporting for us. But not just reporting as, standing up talking, but looking at the scenes, looking at what's happening, basically getting people to start thinking outside the box, like somebody in Special Forces would do, or like the globalists would do, because Special Forces is doing it to try to, win the fight or protect the people. The globalists are looking at it at how to control the population. That's why they want you in a zombie state. So, Tim, talking more about that.
Man, go to a supermarket. Go to Walmart and look at people. Look at their eyes are down. They have no idea what's going on around.
You're going to go in Walmart and show that.
Yeah.
With hidden cameras.
Yeah. So in one of our sheepdog courses, I actually take you to supermarkets. We walk around, and I when we come outside, I say, where do you think this person lives? Pointing at a car, and just look in the bumper stickers. We're like, oh, that person lives in this community. Their kids go to this school. They're part of this club. And then we watch the person come out of the supermarket, head down to the shopping cart. They don't even see the 10 of us standing next to their car because they're so self-centered and ethnocentric. And
they think being self-centered, that's how they're winners. We've been taught only caring about yourself.
Yeah, weak. That's what it is.
Or they twist it and go care about others, give up your life to the government. Well, no, that's self-centered too. It's just bizarre.
Yeah, so I'm excited when I say go exercise your freedoms. It's not just your right to bear arms. It's not just being able to buy raw milk. It's also your freedom of speech. It's also your freedom of religion. It's also
got to exercise everything like muscles or lose it.
Yes. Yep.
There's a report out actually on that today. There's a report out showing that people that are really busy doing a lot of things, they live longer, they have higher cognitive ability, they're more fulfilled, they have a better sex life, everything. I mean, they're alive, other people are dead. Why time-starved people are happier.
Man, I feel so sorry. Like, I feel bad for people that get up and do the 9 to 5, come home, have a beer, crash on the couch, watch some football, just get all this stuff that is getting put into their brain and into their body is toilet. It's trash. And then you look at like me and my friends, my group, my community, the Jake Signs, the Shane Steiners, like these guys, like, we live life at a different level. We experience so much more. We do so much more. And I have nothing but like sympathy for
well, don't compare me to you guys physically, but I do work at night, do a lot of other stuff, and it's empowering. And as I started exercising more, I've had even more energy, and my life's just so good, it's crazy. But it is a scary paradox because all these jellyfish and folks are so self-centered, they're so unhappy, they're so depressed, they admit they are, so they get more lazy, more self-centered, and buy more into the trendiness. They're total prisoners. I just want to see them free. The average jellyfish gets off on somebody dumber than them. It makes them feel good. It makes me hurt.
Yeah, it breaks my heart. And especially when they get to the point where they're in so much pain physically and emotionally. Now they're going to the pharmaceuticals and saying, hey, I need this because I feel so depressed. Or they're going to the psychologists that went to schools that are completely controlled by the world.
That's the trap. Briefly before you go, let's get more into the military because we were talking about this. That is so exciting to hear. I've said 95% of the active duty or recently out Special Forces folks, I don't care if it's the Navy, the Marines, the Army, whatever it is, they are the most awake, charged up patriots that are fully aware of every angle I find. The police have big problems. They've been globalized. They've been put under different edicts. Some of them are bad. The culture's degenerating. But I wondered why George Soros and others were trying to stir up this war with the police because they want to federalize them with their Strong Cities UN initiative. This is a real takeover, folks, okay? So I realized, well, they're the second most awake group. I mean, I was always wondering why, even though I bashed the police a lot when they were doing bad stuff and projected onto all of them, say 10 years ago when I wasn't more sophisticated, they were still so many times big listeners and would just kind of smile at me and say, you'll wake up someday. Even though they do a lot of bad stuff because they're giving those orders, and I'm not defending that, they're the next most awake group. Is that an accurate statement?
Yeah, it is. When we become soldiers, we raise our right hand and we say that we're going to protect the Constitution, foreign and domestic. That is protect the Constitution. The Constitution is the document that empowers us, that gives us those freedoms. So when you want to talk about a group, a populace that is awake, that is alive, it's because they have sworn their life to death to protect the one document that gives us our freedoms and liberties. That is the most important thing to me and to all of my friends. It's the Constitution.
So how does that paradox work where we've got such incredible corruption at the top? I mean, undisputed pure evil now in both parties, but really bad with the Democrats. I mean, that's really rotty. You can smell it from here. And then you've got such great people that are actually under it. But now I've learned so many times just quietly not going along with the agenda. That's not mutiny. When your country's been hijacked, that's duty, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not like we're disobeying orders, but we know what the right thing is, and we do the right thing. You know, I'm not over there killing people so we have oil. I'm not over there killing so we have an opportunity to put somebody that we believe might be more negotiating to our ideas. I'm killing really bad people. And so we make a difference.
You can't tell us, but you personally killed some pretty famous terrorists, I've been told, not by others.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in Special Forces for 15 years. I've been a Special Forces sniper, a Ranger, you know, Green Beret. I'd be really bad at my job if I hadn't killed bad dudes. I'd be like the worst guy ever. It's like a mechanic that.
And you knew Chris Kyle.
Yeah, we worked same place at the same time, and deployed on the same missions.
I mean, obviously it's Hollywood, but generally, how accurate is that movie?
He was a very, 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 very talented sniper. You know, he believed in protecting his soldiers, and that's what a sniper does.
And I'm told in competition, you're one of the top snipers in the world, are you not?
I get beat sometimes, but not often. I shoot 3-4 days a week and compete at the highest level in sniper competitions.
Did you ever compete against Kyle just out there at the base? Or?
No.
I know he was a SEAL, but you were Army. But
yeah, we a very healthy rivalry.
Sure. Well, then looking at that, and obviously you follow orders. What I was talking about, and of course you know about this, 4 years ago, General Dempsey, then chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, he and other admirals and generals, they went to the White House, and I was told this a week after it happened, and it was years later until it was confirmed. And Cy Hurst came on the show and said, no, you broke that. That was true, because we had Colonel Schaefer, but other sources off record that gave us even more, that they went, we're not going to be the Air Force for Al-Qaeda. We're not going to do this. Then Rand Paul came out and Ted Cruz months later and, said that. But it was the military itself that actually went and said, we're not going to go over there and kill Christians. We're not going to back ISIS and Al-Qaeda. And those people like Tosh Plumlee blew the whistle. It was a CIA contractor, talking about that. So that's a big deal that really since Benghazi and on, the military has been saying no to criminal orders. And I know you don't want to sit here and say that on air. That was above you where that happened. But what type of discussions were there in the military when that happened?
And we know what's right and wrong. We know what's just and unjust. We know what freedom looks like. And we know what the Constitution stands for because we swore to protect it. And we're going to do everything in our power, both passively within our ranks or officially through the channels that we can, or in battles. We're going to do everything that we can to do the right thing. You're not going to, look at mine. I got the most awesome shorts in the world right now. That's we love freedom. And you're not going to put us behind a desk in front of a microphone or in front of a bunch of generals. We're going to say this exact same thing.
And by the way, you didn't know you were going to be on today. You were up here working after you worked out, and you were back there just resting after a huge 3-hour workout, about to shoot some videos. And I said, "Can you come on the air?" So that's why there's a suit on top and American flag.
A jacket. I got my gun in my pocket. I got my awesome tennis shorts.
I'll walk in and go, "Hey, quit napping. You're going on air."
What? All right, I'll get to work.
A poor Special Forces soldier just wants some rest, and I won't let him. Yeah. All right, we got 3 minutes. We got a break, and I'm going to hand it over to David Knight. Again, there's just some basic videos that are pretty powerful up at Infowars.com /True Patriot, Dangerous Patriot. You'd rather have the dangers of freedom than the security of slavery. But history shows, as Benjamin Franklin said, when you give up liberty for supposed security, you get and deserve neither. I mean, the most insecure thing is being a jellyfish.
Yeah, and right now, it's just getting started. The True Patriot, those are teasers. Those are like, hey, look at this. Get passionate. Believe in this idea. Get emotional about this.
We're about to flood the site with it.
Yeah, you're going to get more. This is just the beginning. Like, when is the next thing coming? As fast as we can do it. As much as we've already shot a ton, there's a lot more coming. So just get excited. Grab your friends. Grab everybody that you know and get on the idea. Get on the train of liberty.
All right, brother. We'll stay right there. We're about to go to break. And in that, I know you didn't want to plug it earlier. I said, hey, plug the other stuff you're involved in. I mean, this is an info war, and we need people to support what we're doing, whether it's the sheepdog training, which I know is always overfull, or whether it's your work with Ranger Up, great, amazing Patriot clothing. And then also you've got all the other stuff you're doing, Lead the Charge there with UFC. What are the best places for folks to find Tim Kennedy information?
Tim Kennedy MMA on most social media platforms. When I say community, I reach out and find the groups of people that are part like you. Like we even the shoes I wear, Whoobies, like it's made by Special Forces guys. Like I can deadlift in them. I can jump out of helicopters with them. Like
I want a pair of those.
I'll give you a pair, whatever. Everything about my life is symbiotic. And so, hop on board, follow InfoWars, follow me, Tim Kennedy MMA, both on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, obviously. But you're going to get a ton of true patriot from me. So you get.
Well, I'm just excited because it's great. You're used to organizing stuff and leading it. I can just turn you loose, and you're just all the stuff they've been shooting is amazing.
Yeah.
And the great work Shane Steiner and the crew. My only problem is I need to hire up more camera people. We are so overwhelmed, and also it takes money to produce all this. We have this Living Defense that we only had in stock one time. And it all sold out, so I produced 3 times more. It's got like 27 ingredients that pass California standards. So the air has more lead in it than they allow to be in a product. So this is as clean as it gets. But it took us 6 months to finally get all the ingredients and have them all tested clean. That's what costs us so much money is the triple testing and on each ingredient. It's killing us, but we do it to have the very best products out there. Plus, we know we're targets. So this will flush the parasites out like nothing you've seen. It's so good for your kids. You name it. Adult takes 3, a child would take 1. Consult your physician first. It'll sell out by next week, and the profit we make helps fund this operation that's trying to defend human liberty. InfoWarsLife.com, InfoWarsStore.com is the umbrella site. You get 10% off with auto ship when you sign up for auto ship on any product, and free shipping on orders of $50 or more. And by the way, this is discounted 25%, even though I don't need to. It's such a hot product. I didn't realize how hot. I'm going to have to take that special off because I don't want to be out of this for 3 or 4 months again. Tim Kennedy, God bless you. It's great to have you involved, sir.
God bless America.
Absolutely. This is a very exciting time. Hey, the challenge of tyranny's here, and men and women everywhere are standing up to resist it in their red, white, and blue boxer pants.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show in this 4th hour, Friday, June 10th. I'm David Knight. We're going to talk about what's going on in Bilderberg, and especially, I guess you could call it the Precariat Part 2. We're going to talk about the plan to make you the Eloy, as I mentioned in the short 1 minute when we talked about this. Got to understand this thing called universal basic income is something that's being pushed not only by the utopian socialist left, but it's being pushed by the Wall Street Journal, by Forbes, even by the economist Charles Murray. Remember back in the 1980s? I think it was 1984. He talked about Losing Ground was the name of his book, talking about how welfare made people dependent. And it was the basis of a lot of welfare reforms. Now they're talking about a universal basic income, which will make everyone dependents of the state. And it's even being pushed by the American Enterprise Institute. You would think the American Enterprise Institute would value the idea, the traditional idea of work and reward, but no, they are pushing for a nanny state that is going to care for you from cradle to grave to build a dependency like we've seen them shut down the activities of Indians when they put them on the reservation. Now, this is not anything new. This is something that's been coming around for quite some time. It is an idea of both the left and the right, because you know what, folks? There is no left and right. We see this over and over again. At the top, they all push globalism. They're all pushing a universal basic income to make you dependent upon the state. The American Enterprise Institute is run by the Koch brothers, okay? So we're going to talk about what the Koch brothers have in common with the communists. This is a moment in history, like when the German central bankers, one of whom the head of the central bank and his brother was creating the Federal Reserve at the same time in America with those who were plotting to do that at Jekyll Island. But the head of the German central bank took Vladimir Lenin, put him on a train with $10 million in gold and sent him into Russia to start the communist revolution. Oh, who would have thought that the German bankers would create the Russian communist revolution? You see, there's a lot of phony opposition. There's a lot of phony dichotomy, the idea that we've got the people on the right versus the people on the left, and we've got capitalists versus these. When they get to the top, all of this stuff that they divide you into, they just ignore that. They all have a common agenda. And you can see this even with the terms that are being used by these the economists. Things like the precariat sounds like the proletariat, right? The secretariat, the salariat. Yeah, they're going to give you a secretariat. They're going to give you a secretariat to rule the world. So all this stuff, the billionaire space race that we're looking at, the Artilect War that we've talked about in the past with Hugo de Garis, the coming singularity, artificial intelligence taking 90 to 95% of the jobs, all of that is why these business people are joining with the utopian socialists to propose a control of you. How are they going to stop this? You see, Brexit is a good example of how the common people are grabbing their pitchforks and their torches, and they're going to burn down this thing that the Bilderberg helped to create, which is United States of Europe, on the way to creating a world